What ho. This is me, Rachel from Lipstick and Gelato, and I decided it was time to do a vlog again. It's been several months since I have done a vlog, mainly because it's a lot harder to film a vlog about food vlogging rather than style vlogging, because in style vlogging, you can always fall back on how great your hair looks. This situation is happening. I've got a horn. Anyway, don't know what's going on there. Or how, what you have bought recently, what your makeup is like, blah, blah, blah. It's a lot easier than food vlogging. But I want to focus on the food, because that's what we're all here for. Right. Today, I want to talk about several things. Well, really only two things. Number one, interesting ways to change up your commonplace food scenario. And by that, I mean things like toast or smoothies. Let's be real. Who wants a smoothie in the winter? Or, like in my case, a sweet potato. I decided that I wanted to make a sweet potato for lunch, mainly because there was nothing else to eat, because my mom was at the grocery store right now. So anyway, I decided that I was bored with normal sweet potato-ness, and I decided to Google ways to brighten up sweet potatoes. And I found a couple interesting articles, namely from Food 52 and Bon Appetit magazine. And one of the ideas really caught my eye. And of course, I didn't have what it took to make the idea, but this was inspired by that. So what you do, take a potato, poke a bunch of holes in it, roast it in the oven at 400 for about an hour until it's smooth and silky. And then you take about a tablespoon of softened butter, about half a teaspoon of Hawaiian spice mix, quarter teaspoon of cinnamon, a splash of maple syrup, and mix all that up. Slice your sweet potato open, smear it on there, and sprinkle it with sesame seeds. And then squirt a little lime juice over the top. This is a really yummy sweet potato. I wish you could smell. I'm really distracted by the big square of the video and not this little dot. Anyway, I'll get over it. So yeah, that is a really fascinating way to brighten up a sweet potato. I've done pesto on my sweet potatoes before and taken a kind of savory route. This is like in between. It's still mainly sweet, but kind of savory. I've done bacon and onions, like kind of like a normal potato, but a sweet potato, and that's really yummy. But I'm really digging this Hawaiian and lime situation here. I really like it. So, have you ever done anything where you do a sweet potato? And if so, I want to hear all about it in the comments. But yeah, I want to hear ideas, because I always tend to fall back on the same foods as far as like sprouted grain toast for breakfast. And so I like mixing up what I put on top of it. So what do you put on toast? On Instagram a little while ago, I posted about an avocado toast variation inspired by a coffee shop I visited in New York City, where you take feta, cheese, crumbles, wow, and avocado and mash it together with salt and pepper and a little bit of lemon juice or lime juice, and then smear that on toast, and then sprinkle pumpkin seeds and red pepper flakes on it, and that's really yummy. But I want a lot of ideas, so if you have any stellar ideas, please tell me. The second thing that I wanted to talk about with you guys today is tea. I feel like a lot of people know how to make tea correctly, and a lot of people do not know how to make tea correctly. So for those who know how to make tea correctly, correct me if I say it incorrectly, but for those of you who really kind of have no idea, I'm going to give you a real quick rundown. There are 4 or 5 basic kinds of tea. There's black tea, green tea, white tea, rooibos tea, and herbal tea. Basically, what you're going to find out there falls under some variation of this. I'm not going to go through all the history of tea, even though I just studied it with my little girls. But basically, the black tea, green tea, and white tea, I think I'm correct in saying that. All of them are from the same tea bush. It's just different stages that they're picked at. So the green tea leaves are a lot more tender than the black tea. The black tea are the more mature leaves. The green tea are the young leaves, and they need to be handled with care, like a young child. So there's an old quote that says, "Unless the kettle boiling be, pouring the water will spoil the tea." And that's so accurate when it comes to black tea. If your water's not boiling, you're not going to get a good strong tea brew out of this. So for black tea, you're going to want to boil your water all the way, like until the kettle is singing and whistling, or until it's literally like a rolling boil. And then you pour that over your leaves, and you're going to steep it for 3 to 5 minutes, or 2 to 3 minutes. Just steep it till it's black enough for your taste. But for green tea and most herbal teas, you're going to want to not even have your water be boiling. If your water is boiling legitimately, or even close to boiling, it's really going to spoil your tea leaves, and you're going to come away with a bitter, really tannic tasting, scalded cup of tea. And this honestly is, I think, where most people decide they don't like green tea, is when they've had a cup of improperly brewed green tea, which is vile and disgusting. And I thought for years I didn't like green tea because I didn't know how to brew it. But if you brew green tea properly, it's amazing and so good for you and so delicious, and you should really, really check it out. So for green tea, you're only going to want to pour just warm water, like not lukewarm, but like warm to the point where basically you can almost stick your finger in it without a problem. And you're just going to want to steep your tea leaves, your green tea leaves, for just 1 to 2 minutes. It's really not long. It's going to be a nice color. I don't really think you can see this. Yeah, and you're going to not want to spill it all over your front like I just did. Have a nice warm lap now. Black tea though, like I was saying, 2 to 3 minutes with actually boiling water. Same with rooibos tea, which is actually a root. You're going to want to do 3 to 5 on that boiling. And in my opinion, the proper way to make a cup of black tea is to start with a cup of, well, loose leaf tea is ideal, but in a hurry, start with a bag of peachy tips in a pot like this. Boil your water. Boil, boil, boil. Once it's really boiling, you're going to pour it in here about the midway point for 1 tea bag, I say. Cover it back up so you don't let any of the goodness escape. Then you're going to let that steep for 2 to 3 minutes. Then you pour it off into your cup. On a normal day, I just stop there and go drink it, blah, blah, blah. It stays hotter longer. If I have a little bit more time, I'll often put a little splash of half and half in it just till it's opaque. I don't like it like, oh, is that some tea in my milk? That's not what we're going for here. But I also don't like it like super, super black if I bother to put cream in it. And then if I'm really feeling wild, sometimes I'll put a half teaspoon of cane sugar, like natural, like the chunky caramelly stuff. And that's like the most beautiful cup of tea in the entire world, I think. So in my opinion, that's the best way to make a cup of tea. I want to hear what you think, though. What do you think about the toast, sweet potato, commonplace food situation? And what do you think about tea? Are you a proper brewer? Do you like green tea? And what is your ideal of the perfect cup of tea? So until next time, I'll be finishing my sweet potato.